Hello, my family. Welcome. It's time for another skull channeling. Today's skull channeling, it's not really a skull channeling, today's galactic channeling that will be coming through different aspects of, we'll share that in a moment when we do the pick a skull. First needs to be prefaced with your galactic update. Ooh, my God, my family. Major life-changing uploads, downloads. The amount of information that's been coming in has been absolutely massive. What will be shared today with the Galactic Update is what's most important about you being in your power. Let's just get right on into it. By breaking down the words, by breaking down the spells of the etymology of how these basically sentences were mashed together into these words, so we can control this reality further and further and more every day. A lot of things have been coming through with the divine masculine. A lot of things have been coming through with the divine feminine. A lot of healing has been taking place with the inner child. For the inner child healing to be taking place, there are things that seem like codependency, that seem like old codes, that are actually abandonment. There are abandonment issues that are coming from we didn't have people to hold us. We didn't have people to take care of us. As happy as family was, and as if happy-go-lucky childhood, there's still things that weren't seen where we picked up certain destructive things that were to protect us, that were aspects of the ego. These aspects of the ego that we created to defend ourselves because nobody was there to do it are now basically by your spirit team, by your higher, by your other dimensional versions, by the original creator of your soul. Spirit is wanting you to ask these aspects to observe more than they are interjecting. There's a lot of interjection going on when certain things remind you of those initial traumas, of what is the abandonment, which seems like codependency, or this other thing, to actually get to the core of the onion, to get to the core of the situation. That's what the situation is that many are struggling with right now, that many are going into their full-blown ego because of all the light. Because of all the light it's physically here, like we can see it. Like there's the northern lights are being seen in areas of the world that they've never been recorded in before. And I mean, we've even got pink hues all the way down in Arizona. So with what's taking place, all of this extra light is going to be rattling and is exposing a lot of shadows within the self, within the selves, within everybody around you. So what's been going on the positive note, not that that's a negative note. These are all still very positive things. This is what our ascension comes from. When we find these aspects, when we get that soul piece, that spirit piece, because we created them with our spiritual essence, when we get that energy back by not taking it back, by allowing that aspect to observe, by thanking that aspect for protecting us when there was no one else to do it, but also by basically seeing like, hey, I'm going to show you how safe it is when you give me more range, when you stop interjecting as much as you are. Like you feel like you have to because you did have to before. It seems like you don't have to as much. Let me show you safety. Let me create this container. Let me hold space for myself, for yourself, for all of us to be able to get that energy back. And when we get that energy back, it's going to drastically shift everything. What's been really taking place here is this whole thing with the divine masculine within all of you to get now from the inner child to the divine masculine through the eye of the divine feminine. What's taking place there is you're figuring out how to be stern. Now, stern does not mean mean. It's in your power. Think of the word stern as the grandmother and the grandfather frequency all in one. You're figuring out how to be in your power, how to protect yourself, but while still being loving. Because the grandparents, that level of wisdom, that comes through with a sternness. And when I say grandparents, I mean the universal grandparents, the galactic grandparents energy, this ancient energy that is older than this planet is. So when this sternness is coming through, this is where I started to do the word magic. I broke down stern because I was thinking, wait a minute, stern, there's another word that's related to the ocean, because I was thinking the stern, the front of a ship. And when I broke down this word and I really looked at it, it says, so stern comes from to stare, because they would, where would they do? They would go to the stern of the ship and they would stare out to see where they're going. So stare, to get stare, literally all you do is drop the E. I think the word is astara. It's some beautiful word. You could do this work yourself on right on Wikipedia, right on Google, whatever you're using for a search engine. You can literally just type in these words and then say etymology, etymology, etymology with the word. So stern comes from stare, stare comes from star. Literally all they did was add an E to it. So this is fascinating to me. Being stern is basically just saying, like, us being the vessel, being the ship, being the front of the boat, staring, observing what's been coming through, what the message has been, to not react, to observe, much like the high priestess does, because that's one of the sayings with her, is that those that know don't say. She observes things. So being stern is us being in the power of our star. So knowing, like, you being the pillar of light that you are, you being the chosen one that you are, how do we best fit into these frequencies of the vehicle that they're wanting us to be in next? The boat, the ship, the stern, that is where we're going, where we're heading on this ascension journey, is by being the stars that we are. So looking at your fixed stars, looking at your stars that are in your life, and just knowing part of the work that's being done archetypally is the constellation work, is the archetypal work that is connected to the star lineages. This is like absolutely fascinating to me, that stern actually means stare and stare means star. And this is us, like, that's the grandparent frequency. Like, when you break it down, to be in your highest wisdom, this is you being that pillar of light. What's taking place with the light, like, so all this rainbow light and all these aurora borealis, and what's taking place, this is rattling the shadows inside of people. So people's abandonment is coming out, and it doesn't seem like their abandonment is coming out. So this is coming through in all these different ways, where you have the opportunity to attempt to act a certain way that will prevent these aspects from coming out, to protect your energy, to do this or that. When God, the original creator of your soul, when spirit, your spirit team, is loving that you're hearing this message right now, because they want you to be you, how you are, and figure that out and get the energies back from the aspects that you created, because it wasn't safe to be the star that you were upon birth. It just simply wasn't safe for us to have conversations like this, to do these things. We needed to heal the traumas that happened to us as witches, earth goddesses, the oracles of Delphi, what happened in France, what happened to all my family out there, that was the Knights Templar, all the lies and all the illusions and all the grandeur that got us to the point where it wasn't actually safe. But it is safe now. So showing the self that, by being in our power, showing the self that, and the self, when I say the self, I mean the universal self, showing the self that in this present moment, by you doing everything you can to be the star stuff you are, the galactic. It's everybody, like, most people in metaphysics and spirituality agree, like, we're made out of space stuff, we're made out of star stuff. This whole thing with the stern, with being in our power, with what's been coming through to me from the divine masculine, this is proof. This is proof, my family. And it's like, I could literally go on about this for hours. I wanted to just share you that piece, because I then wanted to kind of like preface again, my birthday being 8/22, there's always been this incredibly strong connection with Mary. And it was Mary that came through with the triple solar flare, which I did not know happened. So we got 3 X-class direct impact solar flares. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And this was validated by patrons. This was validated by friends. This whole, like, just to, validate any of you that have seen this as well, this whole, like, crown, plain and simple. These lights in the sky that are, like, literally appear like a crown, are giving us basically, like, the caveman way I can say is, like, think of, like, the ether queen. Think of, like, Mary's galactic crown, Kuan Yin's galactic crown. This is what is actually up there. This is what is all around us right now, which is, like, kind of like rattling things that have to do with this whole dome. Like, I don't want to get too far into all the dome stuff, but the dome, the domicile, your house, this whole word with, like, all these all these women like going through certain distortions, talking about what the dom means to them, when the dom is the dome. The dome is 50% of the masculine. It's 50% of the unit, because it's about the ball. It's about being the ball of the masculine and the feminine. That's what many of you that have been keeping track of this channel and watching how we're all growing together know, is this is about wholeness. This is not about mastering just one side of the coin. This is about mastering the whole. And all of these words that I've said so far, they all break down to these truths. So what the truth is Mary's crown is here. Mary's crown is here when we can facilitate the size of the boat, the size of the ship, the size of the light body that enters where the crown is. Does that make sense? It's not a crown that we get from up here and we pull down onto our heads. What is taking place, what is shifting each and every one of us, is the light is going and it's saying, like, be in your power, be in your heart, be in your hearth, be in your house, your vehicle, your vessel's highest truth. And that highest truth is being loving. It's doing all the things that we came here to do. And to do those things, we need to be worthy. We need to feel worthy. We need to actually get the pieces back from the aspects that know that they're not worthy. And we know that they're not worthy. And they are worthy in regards to that. I see so many people in spirituality, so many people in metaphysics talking about finding the aspect, getting rid of the aspect, casting it out. That is not possible. That is not something you want to do. If you send out an aspect, if you cast out an aspect that has your spirit essence, you're now like leaving holes in the field. You're leaving cracks. You're leaving openings that we're not allowed to have, to be able to complete the container, to grow, to fit this crown inside of that crown. So therefore, without further ado, what's coming through today with the four skulls is we are going to be speaking, and if any of your ears are triggered by thinking about the Virgin Mary, think of Kuan Yin, white buffalo woman. This is an aspect of the mother that goes across time and space. It's in all the dogmas. It's in all the religions. It's in Sumerian times. It's in Greek pantheon, Roman pantheon, the Egyptian pantheon. It's in China, for God's sakes. It's everywhere. It's in the Mandarin language, and all of it. It's hidden, and she's hidden, but left in plain sight everywhere. She is the water. She is the marina. That the word Mary is hidden everywhere in the ocean, and what that represents, her being this essence, like whatever the essence truly is, that essence being from Sirius, that Syrian Miriam that many of you know that Alexander loves to make paintings of and just be in contact with, and because it's something that's always just been so powerful to me. So now we'll do the pick a skull. I'm going to write down 1 minute. Of course, the music gets like super loud when it wasn't super loud. Let me lower this. Okay. So I'll do 1 minute, the Galactic update. So, and then it's at 13:21, 3, 2, 1, blast off, my family. It's at 13:21. I'm going to do the pick a skull. I forgot my platter. I'll just hold them up one at a time. So to let you know what's coming through here, I'll hold up number 1. Okay, hold up number 1. Let you have a moment with the purple fluorite. So look at this as the mind. Okay, so this will be representing, this will be allowing the channel of Mary, Kuan Yin, white buffalo woman, the mind. Okay, because it's, as much as people like to say body, mind, spirit, it's mind, body, spirit. That's a conversation for another day. So here we have the body. Okay, mahogany obsidian. So we have purple fluorite for number 1. If you don't like skulls, just think of the gemstone type. Let's just turn this backwards. Think of mahogany obsidian. Mahogany obsidian is representing the body, and what her body, having one aspect, we have all of the aspects. It's like having the sound of so, we have the throat, we have the color baby blue. All of these things are multidimensional. So this is representing the body, but they're all representing each. So it's going to be mind, body, and then we've got the spirit right here, spirit being emerald, which is the hexagonal matrix. We got the hexagonal matrix right here of emerald for the spirit. And then last but not least, that aurora borealis up in your sky, number 4. Okay, this is black obsidian that has been bonded with platinum and silver. This is black obsidian with the rainbow over it, but the rainbow is actually from platinum and silver bonding. So one more time, we've got the mind, okay? Purple fluorite, everything that represents for the feminine. Mahogany obsidian, snapping etheric cords, being able to clear your body. If these are things you're looking for, you might want to lean more towards 2. Always go with your first pick. Always go what your energy was telling you. And then right here, we've got the green emerald. This is actually the spirit of the hexagonal matrix of the bee. If you're big on working with the bee, if you know about the Thriae or the Oracle of Delphi, this is connected to all of that, the number 3 and all of that, those aspects. And then number 4, last but very much so not least, one of the most powerful things I've discovered with crystal alchemy. Black obsidian with the angel aura. Let's get this water out of the way. We're going to move these skulls over here, and then I'm going to write down the time for the mind of Mary, the mind of Kuan Yin, the mind of Sirius Mother, the Ether Queen herself. Let's get it going, my family. 16 minutes exactly. Okay, number 1. Mind. Okay. Let's pop this other camera up. Yeah, which one did I pick? Good question, Brian. Give me a second. Which, oh, pop the shoe off. 2, really? Okay, we're doing 2. I'm doing number 2. Okay? Do not pick what Alexander picks. Okay? Number 1, here we go. Purple fluorite. One of my favorites. He's got it right in his ear. That's what if you're ever wondering what that gauge is, it's purple fluorite. One of the best, if not the. Here we go. It looks like the sky is about to open up here in Sedona. It looks very dark out there. Oh God, it's gonna be an easy, safe, and comforting channel today when you're channeling the mind, body, and spirit of Mary, Kuan Yin. I'm excited about this. Let's gather on in. Let's make sure we're breathing. Where is your breath? What are you grateful for, my family? Just getting into that gratitude is so important. What do you have to be grateful for? What are you grateful for today? What are you grateful for in this present moment? Please leave it in the comments. I'd love to read it when there's the moment for it. I will be the speaker box. I will be the microphone for the mind of Mary. Syrian Miriam. And the highest orders of benevolence and the highest orders of humanity in this present moment. It's making me want to sneeze. Okay, let's pop up the other camera. There we go. Okay, that's the reason to You never go wrong with this channeling, apparently. Interesting. Okay, here we go. Deck's already been cut. 1. What does the mind have to tell us today? Oh my God. Who's done the Tarot Mastery course with me? You guys know how rare this numerology is. Many of you have probably heard me say this. Anybody who's done my master training, you know what these 2 cards mean anywhere in a reading. To have these 2 together, touching, I should have said it. I was thinking, like, watch the 4 of Swords come up. This is clearly talking about soul retrieval taking place in the future, because both of these cards anywhere in the reading represent soul retrieval. This is incredibly, incredibly powerful. I'm excited to see what this says. The masculine, the feminine, mama having the truth. Okay. So there's going to definitely be any of you that pick skull number 1, there's definitely going to be some massive healing taking place here, because we're seeing in the past, we're seeing the horse stand still with the energy. This is the physical. Top row is the physical. Bottom row is the energetic. We see that somebody, this is literally the galactic update is coming up again, but it's letting the people know that pick skull number 1, how important this is for you in this present moment and in the next. Some version of the self, which is masculine in nature. We got yellow and yellow, a masculine knight, and then the masculine king is holding our energy. This is how we were navigating the patriarchy. This is how we were navigating the traumas of every single person in our family line before us had this. Nobody had somebody to learn from. We are stepping into the ways as the way showers now, of being in the essence of our inner child, being in the essence of the masculine, the feminine, the oracle of Delphi, all our spirituality and all of our intuition coming through in this present moment. What's necessary is this aspect of the ego that protected us. This represents fire. The pentacle represents fire. The pentacle represents magic. The magical fire that we were using to shield ourselves, to protect ourselves. We're being told, what if there's a different way? Asking the self, sitting with it, dreaming on it, meditating upon it, asking yourself if there's a different way than what you're doing in this present moment, because this is something that you know, because the bottom of the deck is talking about the truth. We see the truth shall set you free. We see Mama holding this. You can't make up that this sword represents mind in the arcana, in the minor arcana. Whenever we see a sword, this represents mind. We literally have Mama holding mind, Mama holding the truth. When we dropped mind, we literally got feminine mind. You can't make up these mathematics right here, my family. You guys saw me shuffling. Okay, so the inner child coming through with the Oracle of Delphi, coming through with the Thriae, the number 3 I was just speaking about with the third skull. This is what is most necessary to achieve the balance, to get this energy back, to get to these levels of healing, to have the masculine and the feminine working together. This is us getting the container, completing the container, fixing and adjusting the container of the self. So literally, it's like there's a hole in the balloon. How do we get the balloon, the torus, the torsion field, the Merkaba, whatever you're calling your light body, your kundalini? How do we encase the energy so it can continue to fill up with air? We're being asked to get these pieces back that are, it's like there's such a small hole in the balloon that the balloon grew to the point that it's at. But the balloon is being asking you, this universal metaphorical balloon is asking you to be able to expand more, so we can reach this crown, so we can reach these new heights, so we can reach these new levels of being stern, being in our truth, being in our power. These are what is most important, is the information of what you're doing and what you came here to do. You need the masculine, the feminine, and the inner child to do this. You're needing all 3 parts to create the what? The pyramid, the pyro in the middle, the fire in the middle. I know this is very triggering for people to see. That was intentional. Most of the symbols this has been done with. Ancient symbols that were used in Tibet, ancient symbols that are etched into walls with lasers. These things were used. There were certain people that wanted you to be triggered when you saw these very sacred things that were taken from us. They were taken from the all, and we are taking them back in this present moment. So please, if you're noticing you're getting triggered by stuff, sitting with that, sitting with what you're getting triggered by, and reminding yourself, if you're like, oh, this triggers me, so-and-so triggers me, stop casting that spell. So-and-so or this thing or these people or that, it has the opportunity to trigger you. We have to allow ourselves to leave that modality. We have to allow ourselves to not control the mind, have something and just blurt something out. If you blurt something out, if you're having these aspects come out, if these aspects of the ego that you know are aspects of the ego come out, that doesn't mean you look at it like it's a mistake. It's not a mistake. The mistake is not asking questions. The mistake is not wanting to evolve. The mistake is being comfortable and happy where you are when you know there's more work to do. So for us to do this work, all you have to do is check in at least once a day. Those of you that are like, I really want to get this done, check in numerous times a day. But at the most, you're busy, the family, the kids, the multiple jobs, whatever it is, that when you lay down in bed, you find one thing you could have done better. You had the best day of your life, it doesn't matter. You find one thing that you could have done better. You could have been in more service to others. You could have been more loving. You could have said something a different way. You could have not said a thing. Finding that one thing is you controlling time in the future, because you are wanting to compete with yourself. That is one of the things that the divine masculine is going to do, and the divine masculine does. It's wanting to grow. Not that the feminine and the inner child are not wanting these same things, but being honest and true with yourself of what did I do? What could I have done better? And when we find out what we could have done better, you're now controlling time, baby. Like, that's what we're doing. That's how we control time. That's how we control this entire reality, is by feeling responsible, able to respond, feeling worthy, plain and simple. There's so many people out there right now that are watching this video right now. They don't even feel worthy to pray. They're worried that their energy is going to be used wrong. There's things that this crown will shift within each and every one of us when we get to these places, when we feel worthy, when we become worthy, because we already are worthy. But these worthinesses are having people go, oh, I don't want to manifest the wrong thing. Not possible. Not possible. I don't know if that's coming from nanotech or this thing or that thing. It doesn't even matter where it's coming from. It's not real, my family. Okay? So I'm going to pick this up. Mary says it's complete. We're going to get on and cracking into the next one. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Okay. Here's this. Skull number 2. What do we have for time? 25:46. Whew. Oh, man, that was a lot. Okay, I love it. Okay, so now we're going to the body. Okay, what does the body want to tell me and everybody else that picked skull number 2? That was completely accidental. What's up, everybody? Let me just take one quick moment. I just want to see who's in here. Veronique, my brother Bo, Helen's here. Denise, I love you so much. Linnell, Carol. Oh my God, Billy, Melody, Cece, Yanaka. There's a lot of people here. Yanaka, Katie. Only I can call her Katie. You got to call her Kate. Joe, Source Jedi, Sirius represent. You're going on the screen. You're going on the screen. Yes, Sirius represent. A, B, C, and Sirius D, if you know what I'm talking about. Sorry, I had to. White Raven, Banana Anna. Welcome, everybody. There's so many people. String Band Mama. Coral Ann. Oh, my God. Veronica, Veronique, Lisa. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being here, Brother Michael. Thank you for being here. There's Jen. There's everybody. Denise is going on the screen. Thank you all for being here. Seriously. Let's let me adjust the time so people aren't just, tuning in. 27:11. 27:11. Okay. Let's get it on for the body. Let's do this. Okay. Choices with the masculine. Oh, okay. All right, choices. Very much so choices. We got choices as the cloud cover at the bottom of the deck. We've got choices right here, right in the center in the present moment. So looking back at the past, it's showing how some of the ways that we were acting lovingly, some of the ways that we were being in the vibration of love on this quest to unconditional love. This card represents the immovable object of love. This card represents the unstoppable force of love. When we look at the King of Cups here with this new beginning, it means that certain ways that we were doing certain things, we were figuring them out from distortion. We were figuring them out the best that we could, but we made the decision, those of us that picked skull number 2, we made the decision to move into love, to move into these frequencies that many of us that chose this path, that chose this way of waking up from our trauma, from our awakening process, we chose something that was very feminine in nature. We chose certain levels of emasculation. We chose certain ways of looking at the masculine in the way that the masculine was not, because we were upset with the masculine. So there's a certain level of anger and upsetness that's coming through from the body of Mary, from skull number 2, from mahogany obsidian as a whole, that wants us to snap this etheric cord, that wants us to stop feeding whatever this thing is. The message from other dimensional versions is talking about this person that likes drama, this being that likes drama. This is something that is feeding off of our anxiety. This is something that is feeding off of our past pains. This is something that we are being asked to put this on a diet, to close the buffet, and to whatever this thing is, starve it out. It's not even, once again, that this thing needs to be hunted down and dealt with. We just simply have to fold the hose in half and allow no nutrition to go to this aspect that is not of love, plain and simple. There is something that is not love, that doesn't want us happy. They're literally choosing to try to block our light, to close off our light. They're jealous of our light. They're jealous of the fact of who and what we are. We are these angelics that have already ascended. There's a certain level of, what's the right word here, Mary? It's not abandonment. There are just certain inconsistencies that are coming through from certain people in our reality, and it's multiple people in your reality that they are very triggered by you in your highest, happiest essence. When you are in your most loving state, these states are being seen as weakness. These states are not weakness. These states are you being in your stern star type nature that you came here to be in, to be the pillar of light that you are. We need to grow and expand and grow and grow and grow. But certain things are causing certain anxieties, and that anxiety is being fed off of, therefore the balloon is not getting the full energy that the balloon is needing to expand, that the torsion field is needing to expand. So what do we need to know? We need to know that in the future, finding the things that are masking themselves as priestess energy, masking themselves as, we see the high priestesses here energetically. We're being told that something is spiritual. We're being told that something is loving, when this is actually what is there in the physical. When what's really there in the physical is this militant, somebody that believes in war. There's close correlations between worship, worship, and worship. Once again, more water words. There's things that Mary wants you to know, that you have certain choices. You have certain choices on how to react. You have certain choices on what to do. You have certain choices on how to be, plain and simple, how you should be. So there are certain conversations, there are certain things that need to take place and should take place, and things that should happen when we have a conversation, like certain examples that I was being given by Mary just the other day. I think that was Monday, whenever the 3 solar flares came in the day before that I didn't know about, woke up and just everything was firing off. Everything was absolutely firing off. And Mary said that there are certain things that are being looked at as ultimatums. These conversations that you're being asked to have, all of you that pick skull number 2, all of you that pick the body of Mary, the body of Kuan Yin, the body of White Buffalo Woman. There are certain conversations that you're needing to have, that the person that is dealing with the abandonment, the person that is feeling sad, weak, unjustified, like they're feeling things that are from their childhood traumas. There are certain things that you're being asked to be in your power to truly help them out of this. Part of being in your power is not allowing things that are not of love, that are not of light, that are of the old way, because we see the old way is still showing up in the future. When we're seeing this taking place, it is not an ultimatum when we say this has to change, or I need to protect myself. This needs to change in business. This needs to change in friendship circle. This needs to change in love. This needs to change in family. When you have these conversations with people, it's not you need to do this or I'm throwing you out. No. This is you have the opportunity to do this, or I need to protect my inner child. That is the lesson that is wanting to come through to all of you that picked this skull. There are certain things that you are not able to see it until you've heard these words, until you've seen actually, like, wait a minute, I know exactly what he's talking about. I know exactly what's coming through, and I absolutely need to do this. I've been trying to figure out how to do this. I've been scared to do this. It is scary to do this because these things, when we start to put these levels of light, when you be the pillar that you came here to be, when we cast that amount of light on something that can only and will only be perceived as a shadow, it is going to attempt to incinerate it. We are not attempting to incinerate this thing. We are letting this aspect of whoever these people are, because it's multiple people in each of our lives. Keep that in mind. This is not just one person. These are multiple people that they're there for a reason. They're there to show you. You asked them to do this. You asked them to be there so you would guaranteed find your power or have a higher chance of finding your truest and highest essence in this lifetime. So this is very exciting. This is exciting that you get to show yourself. You get to show your team that you'd rather, deal with this whole fear of being alone. These whole things that are being seen as codependencies that are actually stemming from the abandonment issue. You get to show yourself, like, look, I've healed this. I need to remove myself. Not just it's better to have this person around and these people around than nobody. You need to be very strict and very vigilant, those of you that pick skull number 2. And I couldn't be more excited to see what comes from this, because this is us becoming the sun. This is us becoming this pillar. This is something you chose to do by being here and hearing this message right now. You already chose this. So this is something that has to be completed. This has to be completed. So just really tuning in, really sitting with it. Don't allow yourself to muddy the waters. Who are these people? Write it down. When it comes to codependency, I like to say, code the pen, then see. Write it all down. What Mary let me know on Monday morning was write it all down. It's all major. It's all massive. None of it is easy. But find the thing on the list when you code the pen, then see. Find the thing on the list that is the least major and adjust that and address that, because they're all related to the same core issue. And once you've done that item, which is the easiest term used incredibly loosely, she said the least major. When you address and adjust the least major, the next thing that's the least major is going to be easier when you do that thing, not attempt to do it, not try, when you get that thing done that is on the list next, that is the least major. And thank you for watching. Whew. Okay, skull number 3. Right, now we're going to do the spirit. Okay. Ba-bam. Ba-bam. Thank you. Thank you to the body. Thank you to everybody for being here. We're pulling in skull number 3. Okay. Before I write down skull number 3, I'm going to write down the time at 37:35. So excited about this. What's come through, my family, is many of you have been waiting for this. I know many of you are already on the list. What's actually taking place right now, and by right now I mean in June, we are going to be restarting the Tarot Master Course. Much information has come in, many different styles of doing readings, so many different interpretations of the cards have been added. And many people have been waiting to do the Tarot Mastery course, but they wanted to do it live. They wanted to do it as a collective. They wanted to do it as a family, like the first people that did it. So the course material is back up for live, for how many spots we have left. It's back up for live if you want to register for that. This is basically going to be us doing it live. Any of you that have already done the Tarot Mastery course, this is exciting. Spirit told me to tell you guys are grandfathered in. So by being grandfathered in, it's basically going to be only 144. You get all the new modules. You still have all the old modules. You get all the new updated information, and then you'll still get the call with me, because each person that does this, you get a phone call at the end of it. So basically, for the same price as an hour with me, if you're doing an hour tarot session, you can also be part of the classes, which there's going to be hours and hours and hours combined with all the old information and the PDF and all the updates that we're making to this. It's going to be epic. So I wanted to just share that with you guys. Last time it filled up before we even launched the class. So just let me know what's going on. Reach out to me, use the Galactic Tarot, contact us, and it's time to get excited. I'm really excited to do this because Spirit's wanting me to get to certain levels of completion so we can get to the next thing. And that doesn't mean I won't be doing tarot anymore. That just means the mastery will be being shared, how I am paying for my home and my life and everything. There's many things that will be added on how you can create your tarot business, how you can support your life, how you can reach new levels of divination, how you can do all the things to be able to control this reality for your friends and family members, plain and simple. So I wanted to share that with everybody. 3735 tarot class, and then we're going to get right on back into it. The phone seems to have locked. Is this all I got to do? Are we good? It flipped the camera for some reason. But yeah, we're still good. Okay, so let's get right on into skull number 34022. I love that number. That represents Earth Day. 4022 for the Spirit. Okay. Oh, let's clear the deck. Josie, welcome on in. Here we go. She's happy. Go right over here. There's that again. Don't even tell me. Don't even put the Four of Swords here. It'll be too much. It'll be too much. Okay. Okay. More choices. More choices. A lot of choices are coming through here, my friend. Okay. Because we see at the bottom of the deck, we see the cloud covers talking about a decision. Luckily, this isn't a stagnant decision. We see a decision that still hasn't been made in the future. We see something is coming into balance. Let's see if this is representing soul retrieval here in a moment. But what Spirit's really wanting you to let you know about, what Mary's really wanting to let you know about the spiritual essence is to look at the belief structure, look at the way we're thinking, look at the way we're speaking, look at the way we're being. There's something that is outside of gratitude, plain and simple. I was asking just while I was shuffling for skull number 1, so I ask you again, everybody, for skull number 3. Look at all you have to be grateful for. The way that you're talking about money, the way that you're talking about love, the way that you're talking about work, the way that you're talking about things is in the essence of what we have to do. You're still navigating this, getting to this whole what I get to do, being in the highest states of gratitude. It's those states of gratitude which are going to allow the abundance to flow in. They're going to allow the frequency to flow in. You're getting in your own way by having certain belief structures, by saying things how you know they are. What you're doing is accurate. You're speaking about the reality, how the reality is. But that is how the reality, you could have said that is how the reality was. And the reality is still that way because you're getting in the original creator of your soul's way. You're getting in mama's way. You're getting in grandpa, grandma. You're getting in God's way. God is, original creator of the universe. You're getting in the way with the belief structure and how you're saying things. You might have even noticed recently that certain people in your reality, certain friends, certain soul family members are saying like, hey, you always tell me to say this way, but then you're always saying it that way, or at least you just said this thing that way. And you're like, oh, I know, da, 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 da. Okay, so this is something that you're wanting Spirit, Mary's spirit, Kuan Yin's spirit, the Syrian spirit is wanting you to work on, is looking at it like this whole, like, is the glass half full or half empty? We got to be grateful if we have a glass without a crack or a chip in it. Doesn't matter how much stuff is in the glass. This goes beyond this whole thing. It was just the other day I was on the phone. Was that Carrie or was that Joanne? I think it was one of my Scotland family members. I think it was Joanne. But it was Joanne, because she was talking about how the sun was out, like, for the second time this year, and Spirit, my angelic, came right through, and she said, what was it? Gray skies lead. Wait, what was it? Gray skies lead to green grass, and I loved that, because it's like a better form of this whole, like, the glass half full or half empty. It's like every single thing has something good that comes from it that we wouldn't have if we didn't have this thing that we're looking at like it's a bad thing. So yeah, the skies are gray, but like, look at how like lush and green and fertile, Ireland and Scotland are, because of all the rain, because of all the cloud cover. The clouds are protecting the grass and protecting the life from the sun. So there's different ways that we can be looking at these things. There's different ways that we can be looking at life as a whole for those of you that pick skull number 3. Okay, so to go all the way back to the past, it shows your friends, many friends throughout life, whether they're here or not, the ones that have been coming up, the stories that have been coming up, the things that have been coming up, whether or not you're looking at these people like they hurt you, they did this, they did that. However you're looking at it with this glass half full type of mentality that I know you're navigating, okay? When we see this, we see that certain people, they're soul family. If they're not your friends anymore, then that was part of the journey. There's something that they taught you. There's something that you taught them. The soul family members that are in your reality now, this is only going to get better, is what Spirit's letting me know to let you know. Okay, because we see, like, as this balances, as this heals, there's certain things that are being perceived as fights. There's certain things that once the person goes home or whatever this is, these soul family members, they're kind of like being like a little triggered by the way that you spoke, the way that you thought. They're needing a break, so to speak. There's certain things that are taking place where it seems to you that they're only coming in when they need something. That is very factual. That is very actual, because they know about your spirit. They know how powerful you are. So people are showing up when they need something because of what these issues are that are once again related to abandonment, that are once again related to having certain frequencies that this is being asked to heal. This is being asked to heal. This is being asked to be transmutated. This is being asked to be grateful for, as strange as that sounds, to look at whatever these traumas are that brought upon this way of speaking and thinking and being negatively in certain ways. It's not like you're negative all day, every day, but there are certain ways that you're speaking and certain ways that you're thinking and certain ways that you're manifesting that are not in the highest orders of self-worthiness. The levels of self-worthiness of the most worthy person on this planet that is not just cocky and pompous are nowhere near where humanity is going. They're nowhere near where we're going to get. So if you think, I already did that, Alexander, I already got this. No, you didn't. Nobody did. Nobody did. Nobody has truly balanced and mastered this. These are the decisions. These are the people. These are the frequencies that are coming up. So if certain soul family members, which I don't even see in this reading, this is just coming down the pipeline right now. If certain soul family members, you need to take time and space away from them. You, on the other side of this, you're bringing in soul family that is older, that is more powerful. Once your mirror starts to glisten and sparkle and grow and you get all the smudges off the mirror that you are, like can only attract like. The people that you manifested that are soul family, that are precious, and that do have the opportunity to do the work, whether you've been thinking like, I don't know if they got this or not, that's you reflecting that back on yourself. Think about that. The things that you've been saying, anything that you've been judging, please, later on today, later on tonight, even if you're getting triggered with Alexander right now for being the messenger, say the things that you've been saying to others back onto yourself is what Spirit is asking us, what Mary is asking you right now. So you can truly see that you manifested these people in the like attracts like matrix of how this reality works, as how the law of mirrors and these principles on how the reality functions are taking place. So you're being asked to grow the mirror, sparkle the mirror, get the smudges off the mirror, so the new people that come in, if the old people even need to leave, are just more tribe. They're more powerful. They're more loving because you're more loving. It's that what you put out is what's going to come back. And that's what's saying. It's going to be real fast. Once you've made the decision to do this stuff, you're going to see instant transformations, and you're going to want to know what is next. And this could be just removing one word that you know you shouldn't be using. Each and every little thing you do, you're going to see more and more miracles when you take care of this stuff, when you ask yourself, why am I doing that? Why am I thinking like that? And actually getting to the root cause. Be the child. Why? Found it. That's what you're being asked to do. Instead of just being like, oh, I did that thing again, and then just going on with your day. Why did you do that thing again? What is this protecting you from? Because it was protecting you before, and it is not protecting you here anymore. It might seem like it is. I promise you that it isn't. And you're being asked to get that energy back. You're being asked to get that energy back from yourself. And if you don't know how to do this, there's many ways that you can find help and get help from friends, from family members, from people around you. It seems like we're alone. Seems like some of you are alone. You're absolutely positively not alone, but there is a certain level of loneliness that we need to heal to see that we're not alone. Okay? Thank you. She's saying, oh, wait 1 second. Oh. As you do this, what's coming through right here in the present moment, what's coming through in the middle, as you do this and as you adjust these things, people are going to probably get triggered. Some people in your reality are going to get triggered that you've been doing this with or being stagnant in this regard with. Certain people are going to get triggered because they're going to feel like you're leaving them behind. So there could be certain levels of argument and certain people that are coming up that are threatened by that new pillar of light, that grown pillar of light, that old pillar of light that you are. This is what you're being asked to do, to truly hold up and reach these new heightened levels of ascension, plain and simple. You're being asked to look into this. You're being asked to go into this. You're being asked to maybe let your ego become triggered. There are certain things that are coming through that are not real, that you're being asked to notice. This isn't about looking at the person saying they're a narcissist, they're a sociopath, they're this, they're that, they're it has nothing to do with it. It has to do with you protecting yourself, much like I was saying. I think that was in the second reading. It has to do with you protecting yourself where you need to protect yourself. This has nothing to do with ultimatums. This has nothing to do that the argument itself is not even coming through. Like what the person's saying, you might be like, this is ridiculous. It doesn't make sense, because it's not about that thing. They're looking for an excuse to attempt to lower your energy because your light and your energy is threatening them. Stay strong, my family. Now she's nodding. Okay. 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 Yeah, we're into that. That was a lot. Was that a long one? I think that was a long one. Yeah, it was 12 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. Good. Not bad. What kind of words are these? Get rid of that. Let's stop saying not bad. Okay, 52:47. 52:47 for the soul essence. Let's go. Thank you all so much for being here. Okay, we're going to put that there. We got a loud song again. I'm going to lower that volume because it's very distracting for me. Okay, and here we go, my family. It's dizzying, huh? Soul of Mary, lucky. Those that pick skull number 4. Okay. Oof. So much cobalt, royal blue, white, baby blue fire on this one. Wow. Without even flipping a card, you're being asked to remember. You're being asked to remember, 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 remember. Okay. Remember, and then learn. Education comes up as the first card. Oh my God, twice in a row in the same position. We did 4 readings. It came up 3 times. Okay. There are things that we were doing. There's actual palpable soul retrieval work that we are doing. Soul retrieval normally means us working with a shaman, us working with, I'm not saying that that's not necessary for anybody, but this is work that we really need to do on the self, on the versions of the self, on the pieces that were lost in this lifetime. Was this the same last reading? Twice? 2 cards in a row? Or was this here? I think this might have been here, but still. It's like the same cards, man. Hey, we got a new card, everybody. The Hangman. Okay. Waiting around. Okay. Waiting around to remember, waiting around to receive, waiting around to meditate, thinking about something, needing grounding. Let's see what this all means. Okay. All right. Having all the elements on the table. Having all the elements on the table. Is this to teach or to learn? It's both. Both? Yes, there's something that you are being asked to learn, that you've been talking about learning this new thing, but it's so you can teach. You are an authority in many matters, and you're looking at these places, you're looking at these things, you're looking at these subjects like they're already filled. They might be filled by certain people that are those archetypal frequencies, but there is nobody that is filling these roles that are your archetypal frequencies. When you, as your archetypal frequencies, step up as the master, show your mastery and show your ways of teaching and learning, and then not only is this going to be massively healing for yourself, like that's what every teacher knows. So like to become a master at something, you have to teach it. You will become better. This is why most of the people that are the psychologists and the therapists, they have therapists and psychologists themselves, because they're trying to learn something about themselves by teaching, by digging, by looking within the mind. When you teach this thing, there are archetypal frequencies that are similar to you in the form of other people, that they want to learn from you, not these other people that seem to be filling this void, so to speak. You are the one that is the master of this thing in your color bandwidth, in your starseed lineage, in where you're from, in what you've been through. In being an Amazon, in being this, being an angelic, being a dragon, you are the one that fills that role for the people that when they see you, you remind them of them. This doesn't mean it has to be online. This doesn't mean it has to be a podcast. If it sounds like that's what I'm speaking about, that's what it might grow to. But you're being asked to step into these levels of mastery, to step into these levels of learning, so you can step into these levels of teaching, because this is what you came here to do. Maybe your teaching is by writing a book. Maybe your teaching is by, creating some sort of item that contains your lessons, that contains your learning, that contains where you're from. This could even be something that's made of crystals. This could be something. It does seem like there's writing and teaching is very necessary for the huge percentage of you. But some of you that pick skull number 4, this could be a device. We're talking about the lower 10 percentile. So don't just go with that to avoid this thing that scares you, talking in front of crowds or being in front of the size of the crowd that you came here to speak in front of. So something is going to happen really fast when we step into this. But once again, it's like the last reading was at number 2. We had the looking where we're going. It was either number 2 or number 3 had the Fool here. Now at the end, we're seeing energetically moving forward while looking back. So this is not a negative thing. Like normally when this card comes up, it's like you're not looking where you're going. No, this is talking about in the future. You're looking back on what you're a master of. You're knowing like there isn't anything that could be left behind. Anything that's taking place for the good or for the bad in the past is taking place now, here, simultaneously. That's why certain things from the past are being asked to heal. That's why certain things are being asked to shift. And knowing whatever those traumas are, whatever those positive things are, they make you the person that you are. If it's a trauma thing that's coming up as we're speaking about this, and there's fear that's coming up, this is because of what took place in those previous lifetimes. Those previous lifetimes are happening now simultaneously. Time not existing in that regard. Much of these epic healings that have happened, things had to be shifted in that present moment, and the healing was instantaneous here in this present moment because that thing was constantly happening. The burning is constantly happening, the drowning or whatever the traumatic thing that took place by you being in your power and speaking your truth. Much like why this, because this is why this isn't happening. So there's soul retrieval that's going on, and there's energy. I'm sitting still with this work. I'm sitting still with this learning. I'm sitting still with this teaching. There's certain things that you're being asked to remember, just like what was coming through before I even flipped a single card. You're being asked to teach. You're being asked to learn. For you to teach, you're being asked to remember. You're being asked to learn what you already know from these past lifetimes. You know this. You have to remember that you know this. You have to remember that you're the authority of this. And as you step into this, it comes. It comes. You're nervous about the information not coming in. Do you know how many times, I'm going to speak from Alexander for a moment. Do you know how many times I've had like, oh, I'm going to Conscious Life Expo or this event or that event. And like, they're asking me months in advance. They're like, what are you going to speak about? What a joke. Like I literally have to just throw spiritual jargon at them for what I'm going to talk about. I don't know what I'm going to talk about like a week before, like 2 weeks before, like sometimes I have to just allow the information to come in. You have to allow the information to come in. You have to have trust in spirit, trust in your dream time, trust in your lucidity, that whatever this like nervousness is, it's going to come through your gratitude and your happiness is what the message from Other Dimensional Versions is saying. It's going to come through. It always comes through, even if it's just moments ahead of time. It's almost like the same way that we were asked and we're being asked to trust that there'll be enough money, there'll be enough abundance, that there's always enough. You have to know and realize it's the same thing with information. There'll always be enough. There'll always be something new. This whole fear of like, I just don't want to regurgitate what other people already do. Oh, there's already a book on that. There's already that's got to go. That's got to go. You got to stop waiting. You got to stop waiting. You got to start acting. Not that you're not acting at all, but there's something that has to do with your life purpose, the cogwheel in this reality that you are. That cogwheel is needing a little bit of grease. It's needing some things to be mixed up so you can the whole clock will move better together. We all function together. We all remember together to become the whole. You're being asked to be your frequency in a higher order of divinity and trust and in worthiness, plain and simple. It is unworthy for you to think there's already so many people that do this. Big whoop. Now there's another one. What does that change? What does that change? Why are there so many people that do these specific video subjects? I mean, even look at tarot. Look at all the freaking tarot readers out there. Look at all the tarot readers that are successful. Look at all the it doesn't matter. There's already so many people that do that. Get that out of here. That's not serving you. I promise you. Please remove that. Maybe it protected you before because you needed protection before because you actually were murdered in a past lifetime for doing these things, for knowing these things, for just being in touch, for being in your truth, for being in your power. So yes, that's traumatic, but guess what? That's not allowed to happen again in this reality. We're all connected by all this internet stuff, and there's cameras everywhere. That they're not going to sit here and try to round up all the spiritual people. There's too many of us, the actors and actresses, and everybody's awakening right now. There's simply too much light here for you to be in fear. All of those shadows will be incinerated eventually. There'll be more and more light, just like all of us knew. More and more light, and the dial's going to keep going up, and the dial's going to keep raising, and it's going to keep getting better, except for the people that think, the worthiness. Once again, the people that are in unworthiness and they don't feel worthy, they might choose. There's still people that are still choosing these next timelines to suffering or food, this thing, that thing, water, whatever it is. It's like I not that it makes me laugh. It just makes me think like you're already across the finish line. Please just realize and internalize and just know it's going to continue to get better and better and better and better and better. And you can see how that's already happened. So please, just whatever this way of thinking is, please navigate it. Please thank it. Thank whatever aspect's been doing that. Allow that aspect to observe. Allow that aspect to see how safe they are. And thank them for being here, because they did keep you safe in this lifetime. It was not safe to be in these levels of truth before, but it is now. Please remember that. Oh, yeah, we did it. Okay. I think that camera got cut short anyway. It locked up again. Dancing? That was a crazy dance. Mary's happy, everybody. How did you like that? How were your readings today? What number did you pick now that Alexander is returning to his body? Owen, what up, brother? How have you been, man? What skull did you pick? How accurate was it for you? I'd love to hear it. I love doing this, my family. We're going to be doing more free readings. I don't know when it's going to be. Spirit's got me excited about the free readings again. So, who do you know that needs a free reading? Okay? All you got to do is get somebody new. Just think about it. Who isn't subscribed? Who isn't subscribed that doesn't know about Alexander, that I can just be like, hey, you come in here, we both get a free reading. Okay? You have time to prepare yourself. It's not tomorrow or something. Just start like listening to your family members and friends. And if they're saying they don't have money for a reading, it's very simple. They just sign up a YouTube and they just subscribe. They just subscribe. I'll know. I see my list. I know the names that are on it. So I'll be able to check on YouTube Studio and see, are they a new subscriber? And yeah, you'll both get a reading. It's pretty simple. So thank you. Oh, everybody's loving it. Brother Bo said that was spot on. I picked number 3. Nelia, what a beautiful name. Oof. Pick number 3, very accurate. Thank you so much. 4 picked you, bro. The channelings were intense. The channelings are intense because this is like, as much as like we're perceiving this energy of Mary as the mother, the ether of Mary is actually the grandmother. To just give more explanation towards what was coming through, this is actually Hannah. This is actually the Anna frequency. So it was coming through as Mary, because anywhere we go on the totem pole, anywhere we go on the line, it's gonna, like, everything's gonna be representing down 3 and it's gonna go up 3. So anytime we get to something that is spirit, soul, energy, we're going to be going down to the mind and the body, because it's the mind how actually is creating this reality. It's the mind that we're seeing. So many people are attempting to get you out of your mind. It's about controlling the mind. It's about controlling the frequency that all is mind. If all is mind, then all of this is a reflection of what you've been thinking lately. That is talking about manifestation. So yes, getting out of the old mind, the old way of thinking, for sure. But we have to be able to control the mind, not destroy the mind. We don't destroy the ego. We don't get rid of these things. Those are ways of thinking and being that are from more from the devouring mother aspect. They're not from the nurturing mother, Hannah, Anna, Mary, Syrian love, dolphin magic. Okay. So those of you that have been getting the dolphins to come through, those of you who've been getting Mary to come through, those of you who've been getting the phoenixes and the dragons and the crowns of feathers and all this stuff that's been coming through, it's all related to humanity's ascension in this present moment. And what all of these frequencies are letting you know, which I did not know there's going to be another little mini galactic update at the end. What all these frequencies are letting you know is to stay in your light, to stay in your pillar, to grow that pillar, to grow that light, to remember, plain and simple. I know remember was the message for number 4, but we all need to remember. And we all need to just look at these people not as triggering us out of our energy. They're scared. They're scared. Plain and simple. They're scared. All of these aspects, all of these ego things were created because of fear. Okay? So now we're being asked to trust. Because if we're not trusting, we're not in faith. If we're not in faith, then there is no hope. And you're being asked to be in hope, to be able to create that which you came here to create, and to be that which you came here to be. GalacticTarot.com. You want to sign up for the Tarot Mastery course. There's epic things on crystalcurrent.com if you're looking for energy tools and my powerful bands and all the things. Support the channel. You can do a super thanks if you want to. You don't have to. I appreciate you all so much. And there's also the Patreon, Galactic Tarot on Patreon, if you want more private readings, more informations, more music, and all the things that your brother does. They're right there on Galactic Tarot Patreon. If you want to support the channel a little more, you don't have to. I just appreciate it. I appreciate you just viewing. I just appreciate those of you that like and subscribe just a little bit more. Thank you for helping the channel grow. And thank you for all of your support and love over these years. Thank you, my family. I will see you very, 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 very soon. Jen's asking for drums. I would, Jen. I got there's somewhere I was supposed to be. Well, it was supposed to be in about 7 minutes. I said 2:30, but I got to get there. I love you guys. Soon. Drums, please. Soon. She just keeps writing drums. I'll do a minute of drums. You know what? Anybody that left, they messed up. We'll do a minute of drums. She's like, I can see it. I can see it back. You know what? I'm not doing it because you want it. I'm doing it because she wants it. And you know what I mean by she. Good joke. He doesn't need a mallet. And Alexa, pause the music. So there's a little perineum womb clearing, sacral clearing at the end. Oh. Spirit showed me how to do that a couple of years ago. Very powerful for having our breath below the belly button. I hope that helped you with your breathing. I hope that helped you all who are watching this. I'm going to go ground. I love you all. See you very, 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 very soon.